Let me guess. You must be Linus.
Come,
Jufus.
let us reason together. I'm a generous god. I can make you rich beyond all measure.
I will make you the next kingpin. You will sell LTT water bottles in all your videos.
Left the nasty.
You can take your water bottles and suck my big red dick.
There will be no glory in your sacrifice. I will erase even the memory of
Frame chasers.
histories. Why, honoring the very name of
Frame chasers or Jufus.
will be punishable by death. The world will never know you existed at all.
The world will know that free men stood against,
Shill tubers.
that few stood against many. And before this battle was over, that even a god king can bleed.
Well guys, we made it to 15,000 subscribers. Thank you to the team involved in helping the channel grow, all the supporters for supplying all the hardware and the monetization required to sustain the channel, and everybody else in between, including you, the viewer. So today, we're going to be talking about the 3060 Ti versus the 2080 Super. Now the reason why we're talking about these two cards specifically, I do believe it is a good time to build, not Jay's 2 cents buy now type of build.
What are you waiting for? Stop this video and go buy something, whether it be AMD or Nvidia, now. I know I sound angry because some of you are stubborn as and you're gonna not listen and you're gonna miss out. And I'm trying to help you, so go!
Not the high end, but I do believe it actually is a good time to build a full PC on the low end. And I am working on a $1,000 build video currently right now. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that in the future. And in order to meet the $1,000 budget that I'm trying to get, the 3060 Ti was a little bit too pricey to kind of squeeze into that $1,000 budget. And also the 3060, the base 3060, didn't quite have enough performance to it to make it kind of esports ready, I want to say, like Warzone, Apex, League of Legends, etc., right? But this card here, the 2080 Super, I got this for $360 off the EVGA B stock site. Comes with 1-year warranty, etc. You could probably get these for around $350, $360 on eBay as well. But if you do see it on the EVGA B stock, you might as well get it there because it comes with a 1-year warranty, right? I'm not shilling EVGA, by the way. It's just that sometimes their B stock price drops are very good. This one specifically was a 2080 Super for the Win 3, right? This is probably one of the best models of 2080 Supers that you can get. $360 shipped, mind you, right? So I thought personally, some people will argue that that wasn't a very good deal. I would argue that I was comfortable paying $360 for a 2080 Super, right? Especially one of these ones. It's not a black, it's not an XE3, it's a for the Win 3 Ultra, the top model. Now the 3060 Ti that I have is a Vision, a gigabyte one. This is just the best one that I had on hand to use for the benchmarks. Now currently, a comparable model of 3060 Ti, not this one's not comparable. I'm saying like a 3060 Tough or like an Aorus Elite, something that's a bit thicker on the cooler. Those are running in the range of about $550 right now on Amazon, about $475, $500 on eBay, right? So almost $200 more than the 3060 Ti. And when I say comparable, I mean power limit and cooling capacity, right? So as of the time of recording this video, which is August 2nd, 2022, we're trying to find out if the extra $200 right now is worth the upgrade to a 3060 Ti over a 2080 Super. Again, with the eventual goal being we're trying to fit one of these cards into a $1,000 budget for an entire PC build, right? Now, those of you with a keen eye would say, hey, Jufus, the 3060 Ti is not really comparable to the 2080 Super that you got. This one's about half as thick, right? That's fair. This is the only card I had available to me. I did power mod it to make the power limit the same as this one. So basically the results you're gonna see are as if this was one of those beefier models. Test bench for today is my 12900K max overclock system. So the CPU bottlenecks will be non-existent for all of the resolutions today. So with that being said, 2080 Super, 3060 Ti, max overclocks. Let's see which one's faster.
All right, first up, right out of the gate, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider tested at 1080p high settings, no anti-aliasing, no DLSS, none of that. And as you can see, the graphics cards here are completely identical, down to the single frames. These cards score the exact same, just across the board at all resolutions. So very interesting result here. That Ampere architecture is coming in clutch, carrying the weight of having 10 less SMs. Now, I also forgot to mention that the 3060 Ti is running resizable bar and PCI Express Gen 4 support on this motherboard. The 2080 Super has none of those features. Why do we test with bar and PCI Express 4? Because those are the advantages of the Ampere card, and this is a max overclocking channel, not an apples to apples channel. So if the features are there, I'm going to enable them and give that card every advantage that it can have. Because why not? That's what you're paying for. Horizon Zero Dawn up next. Now, this game shows a little bit different of a result compared to the previous game, where this game we know scales very well with PCI Express 4.0 and resizable bar. So when you have both of those features enabled, you do get a sizable boost in this game. So that is why, on average, the 3060 Ti over all three of these resolutions is about 10% faster than a 2080 Super without those features, right? But if you want to ignore the total percent for a second and just look at the 1% lows, the 1% lows between these are within 10 FPS, right? So you're not going to actually feel too much of a gaming difference between these two cards, especially not a $200 difference worth of graphics card, right? So if it were me and I had to choose between these two, I would choose the $200 savings. Elden Ring up next. This is a new addition to our benchmark suite here. Very, very, very popular game. So I figure people will want to know how these kind of hardware configurations perform in this game. But as you can see, this is pretty much the same as Horizon Zero Dawn. A little bit less, but mostly the same thing. On average, the 3060 Ti is about 6% faster. But if you check the 1% lows again, all within 10 FPS, so the gaming experience you're going to have on these graphics cards are more or less going to be identical. So again, that $200 savings for the used graphics card is coming in clutch. Stray is up next, probably my favorite game of 2022. This game was fantastic to play. It's not a particularly difficult game, but the storyline and being in the perspective of a cat was just a very, very good new experience that we haven't seen before. I just highly recommend this game. If anyone hasn't played it, just go buy it and go play it. But you can see the results here are kind of the opposite of the other ones, where that in 1080p, it actually favors the 2080 Super, favors the higher SM count. And then they kind of tie each other in 1440p, and then the 3060 Ti kind of pulls away a little bit in 4K. This is kind of more typical behavior you would see if a game doesn't take advantage of bar or PCIe Gen 4. So I'm assuming that this game, it does not care about those features. So, but anyway, these cards kind of perform exactly the same unless you're playing in 1080p, then you're going to want the Turing card. No matter what card you have, though, just go play this game. Now, I'm quickly just going to throw this in here. I don't think you should be doing any kind of ray-traced gaming on either of these cards, but I did do a Port Royal just to see kind of where they stacked up, and the 2080 Super is... they're pretty much identical again anyway, so, I mean, if you want to take Port Royal as a kind of best-case scenario for ray tracing, again, these cards are going to perform exactly the same. But I didn't want to spend too much time on this, again, because you shouldn't be ray tracing on either of these cards.
Over here.
Okay, a quick Apex Legends run here. We have the 2080 Super on the left and the 3060 Ti on the right. Now, throughout the run, the 3060 Ti does seem to maintain about a 20 FPS higher average in the 1% lows. And for a game like this, I would say that that could give you the advantage in terms of smoothness and snappability. Now, if they were both at the 250, I would say maybe not. But if they're going at 150 to 170, 180, then yeah, 20 FPS is a difference that you can feel. Or I should say a difference that a pro player could feel. Maybe not the average Apex bot. Okay, Warzone up next. We are going to be doing 1080p and 1440p for this one. The first run will be 1080p. And as you can see, the average on the 3060 Ti is about 10 to 20 FPS more, but the 1% lows are the same on both of these cards. So competitively speaking, it's going to be identical between these two cards in 1080p in Warzone. So that $200 savings would be better put towards something else in the system. For example, not even just better memory, but even just better cooling for your CPU, a better AIO, a RAM fan, maybe even some case fans. There's a lot you can do with $200. All right, we're going to do a quick 1440p run here. Now, I know some guy in the YouTube comments is going to be like, but Jufus, look at the temperature of the 3060 Ti. It's at 75. Yeah, I know, dude. I was saying earlier that this is not a comparable model to the 2080 Super. The 2080 Super is twice as thick and has way better fans. This Vision 3060 Ti that I have is quite dinky. All right, it's very, very dinky. That's why I don't recommend you get it. This is just the card that I have for these comparisons. Anyway, long story short, the 3060 Ti gets about 15 FPS more in the averages and the 1% lows in Warzone at 1440p. Now, again, we're talking about the $200 savings here, right? If you already have quite a comparable system where you don't need better RAM or a better CPU, etc., you could take that $200 and get a 2080 Ti on the secondhand market instead, right? Basically, what I'm saying is $500 for a 3060 Ti is never worth it, not when the secondhand Turing cards are so cheap. And a 2080 Ti will blow a 3060 Ti completely out of the water.
So, these two cards are literally identical. Now, did you notice that the 3060 Ti was a few percent faster in that Horizon benchmark? That is because Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the only games that does take advantage of PCIe Gen 4 and resizable bar. So spec-wise, this 3060 Ti is punching above its class just a little bit because of the Ampere features included in this. PCIe Gen 4, resizable bar. This one also has HDMI 2.1 in case you want to use a 4K 120Hz OLED. Not that you would be able to drive that with this graphics card, but for some retro games and couch co-op games that can go up to 120Hz, like I don't know, Castle Crashers or something. You know, that 120, that 4K 120, HDMI 2.1 might be a factor for you, right? If you are strictly using the 2080 Super at a desktop with a DisplayPort monitor, then no worries for you. So at the end of the day, I'm happy with my purchase, right? It is a 3060 Ti basically, for more or less, for $200 cheaper. I think right now, Turing are the cards to buy. The 2080 Ti especially. As you guys saw, Turing still performs phenomenally well. And these cards are only going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as we get close to the Lovelace launch. Anyway, so long story short, I am super happy with the performance per dollar of this card. So we're going to use that $200 savings and put it elsewhere in that $1,000 build coming up in another video. So if you want to see what kind of performance we can get for $1,000 and this 2080 Super, hit that subscribe button, do all that YouTube SEO stuff, like, share, subscribe, comment down below what you thought about the performance of these two cards, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later.